You have a job, you get paid, maybe you even got a raise. So why does checking your bank account still feel like bad news? That is the strange reality for millions of Americans right now. Employed, working, and still feeling broke. And the numbers explain why. In June, the unemployment rate was 4.2%. Employers still added jobs. Average hourly pay was higher than a year earlier. On paper, that does not sound like a collapse. But here's where things get interesting. In May, consumer prices were 4.2% higher than a year earlier, while real average hourly earnings were down 0.7%. Translation: the paycheck may be bigger in dollars, but for many workers, its purchasing power is getting squeezed, and that squeeze shows up in the most ordinary places. The grocery aisle, the gas pump, the rent renewal email, the utility bill, the insurance notice, the 5 tiny charges on your credit card that somehow turn into hundreds of dollars by the end of the month. Food prices were up 3.1% over the year in May. Shelter was up 3.4%. Energy was up 23.5%. Those are not abstract numbers when you are standing at a checkout screen deciding what goes back on the shelf. Now, to be clear, inflation is not the same thing as prices suddenly doubling every month. And when inflation slows, that does not automatically mean prices go back to where they were. It means prices are rising more slowly. That difference is huge. Because Americans do not live inside a monthly inflation rate, they live with the price level that accumulated over years. Your brain remembers what a normal grocery run used to cost. Your budget remembers what rent used to be. Your paycheck has to deal with what everything costs now. Housing is where this gets brutal. Census data found that nearly half of renter households were cost-burdened in 2023, meaning they spent more than 30% of income on housing. And for homeowners with a mortgage, median monthly owner costs rose to $2,035 in 2024. So even when a worker keeps the same job and gets a modest raise, one lease renewal, one insurance increase, or one unexpected repair can erase the feeling of moving forward. That is the part people are angry about. The economy can look acceptable in a headline, while a household feels like it is losing ground in real time. The Federal Reserve's latest household survey found that 73% of adults said they were doing okay financially or living comfortably. That sounds reassuring. But flip the number around. More than 1 in 4 adults said they were just getting by or finding it difficult to get by. And just above 9 in 10 adults said price increases were at least a minor financial concern. Only 63% said they could cover a $400 emergency expense with cash or its equivalent. That means a car repair, a medical bill, or a broken appliance can still become a financial event, not just an inconvenience. Then comes debt. Total U.S. Household debt reached $18.8 trillion in the first quarter of 2026. Most of that is housing debt, but the psychological effect is broader. When more of your future income is already promised to a mortgage, a car payment, student debt, or credit cards, your paycheck can feel spent before it arrives. And social media has turned that private stress into a public argument. People post grocery receipts, they compare rent increases, they joke about 6-figure salaries not feeling rich in expensive cities. Some people blame inflation, others blame housing shortages, corporate pricing, government spending, interest rates, lifestyle creep, or all of the above. The truth is not one simple villain. Different households are getting hit in different ways, but the feeling itself is real enough to show up in consumer surveys. University of Michigan consumer sentiment rose in June, but the index was still 49.5, well below 60.7 a year earlier. So this is not just about whether America technically has jobs. It is about whether work still creates a sense of security. That is a much bigger question. For decades, the basic promise was simple. Work hard, get a steady paycheck, pay your bills, and slowly build a better life. But when major expenses rise faster than your sense of progress, the deal starts to feel broken. You can be responsible and still feel anxious. You can earn more and still cut back. You can have a job and still check your account before saying yes to dinner. That is why so many Americans feel broke even when they are employed. The problem is not always zero income. Sometimes it is zero margin, no breathing room, no cushion, no feeling that the next paycheck puts you ahead instead of simply resetting the clock. So here is the real question. What would actually make you feel financially secure again? Lower rent? Cheaper groceries? Better pay? Less debt? Or just 1 month where nothing unexpected goes wrong? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more straight news and commentary about the forces changing everyday life in America, subscribe, hit like, and stay with us.